something we've heard from you guys at home is that you are looking for tips on how to cook fish. So today we're going back to my basics with salmon with brown butter and lemon. Now, a lot of the things that you were asking when you were asking about fish was not only how to cook it, but how to buy it. What should I look for when I'm at the store buying fish? There's a couple things. One, if they have whole fish, which is the easiest way to check it, but not the only way, the thing that you want to look at is you want to look at the fish. You want them to peel it back so you can see the gills. The gills should be a nice bright red like this. They shouldn't be all gray and murky. That means they're fresh. When you look into the eyes of the fish, look in his eyes. They should be shiny and glossy. It should not look like the fish was on a 4-day bender. Very, very important. And the fish should be packed in ice. All right, now often fish is already filleted and or portioned at the store, but there's still things that you could look for. You should ask them to see the fish so you could hold it, smell it. It should smell like the ocean.
Yes.
It shouldn't smell fishy, but it also shouldn't smell like lemon and cucumber water, because that means they're hiding the fishy smell.
Really? Yeah.
So it should just smell fresh and bright.
And sometimes I remove the gills so you can't check them.
They will. If they peel the gill back, no gill, it means they're like, the fish was like 4 days old, so they peeled them out to hide it from you. The other thing is ask them to touch the flesh of the fish. When they touch it, it should spring back. If they put their finger in it and it holds the print, the fish is old. So you want a nice springy flesh. All right. Now, we have this thing, how do we cook this bugger? So a lot of people like to cook fish with skin on, me included, because it gets extremely crispy like the skin of a chicken. The easiest way to do this at home is to do it in a non-stick pan, which I usually don't cook a lot in, but this is an easy way to do it at home. And you're going to start it in a cold pan, which we almost never recommend.
Right.
But this is what gives you a crisp skin. The other thing is the skin has to be dry. So what I like to do is take a paper towel and make sure that the skin and the flesh are dry, so I just give them a little pat like this, because that helps with the crispiness. If the skin is wet, the skin will steam as opposed to crisp. So you want to get that off, and then we flip it. And the next thing we do is we take it, and this is a little restaurant trick. If you have a razor or a very sharp knife, put a couple scores in the skin. And what that's going to do is, as this is cooking, the skin's not going to curl up, so it's going to lay nice and flat as you cook it. All right? And salt on both sides. In your cold pan, you put a little bit of olive oil. I put a little pat of butter. You take this chicken, this is now chicken. You take the salmon.
Chicken of the sea.
It's chicken of the sea. And you put the salmon skin side down and just let it go. Now we move over to medium heat with it. Once we're on medium heat, this has been cooking for about 5-6 minutes, and I haven't moved it. You don't have to shake it around. You just let the heat do the work, and the skin gets incredibly crisp. Now watch when I flip this. So you could see, look at that. It's like a cracker on there. And all this is, and I say it all the time on the show, we cook with technique, because you could do this with any fish. So learn the technique, and you're letting the stove and the pan do the work for you. All right? So I'm going to pour off, I'm just going to put it right here, but I'm going to pour off a little bit of this excess fat. Not always necessary, but we're going to build a sauce right in the pan now. So once we flip this over, we're flesh side down. We only have a couple more minutes to cook this, and it's going to be cooked through. So I have some chopped shallots. I'm going to add some chopped shallots to the pan. I'm going to place some butter in the pan.
Just a little bit.
A little bit of butter. And I love doing this sauce also, and now I'm going to go up to high heat. This is also a great sauce to do with chicken or other white meats. So it works really well. And the butter is just going to start to melt and brown right in that pan. And once that happens, I put in some of my flat leaf parsley. And then what we do is, you've seen this on the show before, we let that butter melt, and we start taking this beautiful shallot parsley mixture, and we start spooning it on top of our flesh, because basting it like that's going to add a lot of flavor. Now, once you see a little bit of discoloration with that butter, when it gets brown, that means it gets nutty. And that's where the good flavor is. You're going to take a lemon, and you're just going to squeeze the lemon right into the sauce. We're going to pull out that seed that I dropped in there. It's okay, it's all legal. And then we just let this continue to cook in the sauce. Now with salmon, not all fish is like this, but salmon is a fish that you could eat anywhere from raw actually, to well done. Now, here is my last tip I'm going to give you when cooking fish. Some people want to get fish in their diet, and they're like, but I don't like fishy fish. The more you cook fish, the fishier it becomes because it releases the oils and it gets stronger. So if you're trying to eat more fish, but you don't want it to be strong, chances are if you eat it closer to medium rare, it's going to be much more mild. All right? So now we take our salmon, we place it right on the plate. We have this beautiful brown butter shallot sauce with the lemon. And we're going to put that right over top. And that's it. You guys cut into that.
Okay.
Now, the beautiful thing about this, you could add capers to this. You could add anything to want to really make it your own. But what I wanted you to see is that basic technique on how you cook it, because you could use that with any fish. Tell me what you think.
Well, listen.
You crunch?
Yeah. Crunchy skin, fish is cooked through.
They got butter sauce too.
So you can do this in 8 to 10 minutes on your stovetop. It will be perfect every time. Learn your fish, people. All right, stick around, you guys, because Carla is in the kitchen with one of our old favorites, Layla Ali. Stick around. We'll be right back.